The power of visioning can set us free. Divine guidance, what's really true is it's talking to us all the time. It's talking to us when we're in nature, when we're in the bathroom. Yeah, not kidding. It's talking to us through other people. It's talking to us through the song that happens to come on the radio when you turn it on, answering a question you had. It's always there for you and me. If I asked you right now, if we were sitting together, and I said, what is it that you want? What do you want for your life? Most of us would respond from our paradigm, from ego mind. We would respond with what we've been conditioned to think of what will bring us happiness, or conditioned to what we actually think is possible for our lives. We might hear something incredible come to us through divine guidance, maybe in meditation, and we clamp down on it. Oh no, I can't do that. We've all grown up, it's the way our minds work, it's the way the ego mind works, conditioned to the systems that we've been brought up in, conditioned to what out here tells us is possible or not possible for us, so we take it on. Even unconsciously, we're living that out. Oh, I can't do that. I'm a woman. That's not for me. Well, what a load of BS that is. Seriously, I'm too old. If you are getting a message from your soul, from divine guidance about your life, does divine guidance lie? Or dangle a carrot? Nah, just kidding. No, you really can't do that. No. If you're hearing that message, it's for you. One of the ways that we can bypass all of that conditioning, all of that ego mind stuff, all of those limitations that we think are real, is through the incredible, powerful, transformative, heart-centered practice of visioning. Because visioning takes us straight into our hearts. We quiet the mind so we can go right here, so we can hear it. We can hear the voice of our soul. We can hear where we're being called. There is a high idea of you right here within you that wants to express. It's not out here. It's right here, right now. And when you vision, you can tap into that high idea. So I'll share a little bit about how visioning has impacted my own life. And I can tell you right now, I would not be standing here today on this platform speaking to you if it weren't for visioning. So, I was in Los Angeles. I was pursuing my acting career, sure that I was going to be an actress. I found a wonderful spiritual home, very much like this one. And I was in a visioning class, the class I'm going to be teaching starting next week. And I was there for two reasons. One was for love. We know how that turned out. And the other was for my acting career. And so I was there, we were in circle, we were visioning. And Spirit talks to us, and I'm talking about the Spirit right here, nothing outside of you, it's right here. It speaks to us in many ways. Symbols, music, sounds, colors, shapes, phrases, all kinds of ways. And as I was visioning there in the year 2012, I heard, "You're going to be a minister." And I was like, whose vision is this? I am hearing somebody else's vision. I'm an actress. That is not my path. And in fact, at that center, when I would go on Sundays, there was no concept for me of being a minister speaking up there. There was nothing in me that was like, oh, one day. In fact, the thing that I thought that would be most cool for me was to be part of the choir, because they were amazing, and I just thought, oh, if I could sing with them. But that's not what came through. You're going to be a minister. It took me 5 years to actually land in that and say yes to it. It wasn't until 2017 when I had an experience that I came out of. It was deeply healing. And I knew at that moment I did not want to pursue acting as a career anymore. I knew that what I needed to do was to be powerfully, authentically me. And all I wanted to do was help people heal their lives, love themselves, so they could live their best life. And that was when I knew, okay, it's ministry. All right. And I set down the path of ministry. And here I am. And by the way, I can't think of a better, more loving and supportive community to have so much of this journey happen in than this one. So thank you for being so supportive. Thank you. So, ministry, becoming a minister, my vision became that North Star of my life that I could set myself to. And I followed it sincerely all the way until here, right? I'm here. The beautiful thing about visioning is, yes, we can vision for our personal lives. We can vision for our business. We can vision for a book that wants to be written through us as us. We can vision for a work of art. We can also vision as a group. We can vision for companies. There's a lot of corporations actually now. What once thought was kind of woo-woo and out there, actually visioning is happening in a lot of companies now. And they're happening in spiritual communities. And I want to share a bit about the history of this beautiful community with you around visioning. I find it deeply inspiring. In fact, when Cliff and I arrived here 2 years ago, one of the things that I was so excited about was that there was a visioning team devoted to visioning for this center, for this community. What are they visioning for? The high idea. What is it? There is a divine high idea of everything. But we kind of got to get out of the way for it to emerge. There is an ever-emerging, unfolding process in, as, and through everything. Guess what, though? Our consciousness and our ideas of what's possible and what's not possible, what we're holding on to, haven't let go yet, that's the stuff that gets in the way. This is where visioning becomes transformative. So, in this community, in 2020, a group was formed. Now, this is in the time of COVID. It was a challenging time for this community. The numbers were smaller, but there were a devoted group of people who, this just brings tears to my eyes, that invested their hearts, their minds, their talents, believing in this community, and set aside time to come together and vision for it. Now, what at the time might have seemed, is that even possible? They kept at it. And one of the stories that I just love is when they were visioning for new members to be attracted to the community. And always when you're visioning as a group, you share with each other afterward what was coming through. And I just love this. One of the members of the team said that he saw a bluebird. A bluebird came to him in the visioning. And right after he spoke it, he said, and a bluebird just landed outside my window. Divine guidance. The team was inspired, and they took on that symbol of the bluebird for attracting new members. Do you know what the spiritual symbology of bluebird is? Rebirth, renewal, love, joy, connection to the sky, and good fortune. It's pretty powerful. I don't know how you felt when you came into this space this morning, but man, I feel that love and that joy and that good fortune to be part of this. A few years later, so this was happening without a spiritual leader. They did have an interim minister come in and support them for a little while. They continued to vision. Like, this is huge commitment on their part. It just is so moving. They kept visioning, and they were now moving into visioning for their new spiritual leader. And leading up to that, they started to look at, oh wow, what we're getting here when we ask what must be released in order for this to occur, because we have to be a vibrational match for the high idea. This is the transformational piece that's so important. It's not like you vision and then poof, we're there. There's growth that has to happen. There's lots of releasing and letting go. So they started to take it on sincerely, as in, oh, I'm going to bring this into my personal practice. Started doing deep healing work, releasing, forgiving, whatever needed to be done, whatever was coming in the visioning. And not long after, an application arrived from this guy. And what I love about this is that there were other applications, fine people, I'm sure, that were also applying, but it wasn't a vibrational match to what they were visioning for, what they deeply desired, because they were connected to that vision, that North Star. They didn't take on people. They didn't go into scarcity. Oh, what happens if we don't accept this person? Somebody else might not be there, None of that. They stayed true to what was coming through for them. And I just love this. Our wonderful and so very fun practitioner, Bernadette had a prayer that she was speaking that came out of the visioning for a new spiritual leader. And I just want to share a couple of the phrases that came through in her prayer, and thank you for letting me share this beautiful prayer, Bernadette. My consciousness, our consciousness, is filled with the idea, individually and collectively, that our Center for Spiritual Living is a thriving, vibrant spiritual community. I invite you to just tune into yourself as I'm reading these phrases to you, because to see if you're feeling this now, what she was visioning and praying on a few years ago. The seed, the mental equivalent of this idea, has been planted, the soil made rich through visioning, meetings, amazing leadership, invested interest of many. A right, perfect minister is in need of our CSL community. Our community demonstrates that it has every resource available for success. A consciousness of prosperity, an abundance of money, expertise in administration, technology, music, an army of volunteers who are eager to invest time, talent, and energy to support our amazing spiritual home. Do you know we have 85 volunteers? That has manifest. Powerful. Our spiritual teaching is valuable to the world, and our community is a safe, inclusive place that fills the spiritual needs of many. Thank you, Spirit, for your ever-loving presence and direction in this particular journey for our CSL community, a new minister who feels at home in our home. How many times have you heard Cliff say he feels home? I know I do too. We both feel so very home. This is the power of visioning that came out of tapping into the heart, the high idea of wanted to be expressed as this community. Are you following me with this? Yeah, okay. Same as with your personal visioning, the high idea of you, we can do this for community. And I want to tell you that visioning team continues to vision. It's been 5 years of visioning, and it keeps going. And I especially want to give a shout out to Laura McDonald, who's here. Hi, Laura. Because Laura has been part of this visioning team, I believe, since its inception. Yes. She's still on the team. We have a team of 5 of us that are visioning now for the community. And when we finish, we do it once a month. And we have been so vibrationally high at the end, weeping because of what's coming through. And it almost hurts a little bit because I'm not personally used to being that high a lot of the time. It's awesome. And it's right here, right now. So again, we're not like choosing like what's out here. I'm not getting something. I am letting something. We are not getting something, we are letting it be. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all the visioning and all the prayers. And Cliff shared last week how he and Tammy, when he was interviewing, how there was this feeling and they were laughing about how it was a courtship. And it was like the dating process. Are we going to get married? I'm so glad we got married. You guys didn't know I was coming too, but I feel very much part of this marriage, by the way. Just so we're clear. My pants are falling down. That's not the impression I wanted to make today. Okay, so visioning is so powerful, and it's a spiritual technology, a transformative technology that can set us free, that can set who you truly are free. All right, I'm looking at the time. I have a lot more I want to say, but I have to keep to 20 minutes. It's what I'm supposed to do anyway. So I have a fun story to tell you, and it's really about, some of us can tap into that high idea of ourselves, and some of us have it from a very young age. Right? You maybe have known people or heard about people who, like from a very young age, knew what their life was going to be. I hear stories of like Michael Jackson from a very young age said, I'm going to make music that's going to unite people and heal people. And he would drive by stadiums and say, one day I'm going to be singing in one of those. There are people who have this, which is wonderful. Not all of us do. And so this is a practice that gives you that ability to tap in and tune in to that high idea of you, that divine idea, what wants to emerge, what wants to unfold. And this makes you a participant in that evolutionary process, to be self-realized, as opposed to just being kind of at the whim of things. At the whim of what's happening, the weather reports out here. Like, I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. I don't give my power or my joy away to anything that's happening south of the border. Anything, right? Because this is a great saying, and I love this. Don't tell God about your big problems. Tell your problem about your big God. You have more power in you than you realize. Visioning gives you a way to tap into that power and the essence of who you truly are so you can break free of those paradigms. Free of, no, it's not possible. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too fat. I'm too thin. I'm not enough. I'm too much. I'm a man. Men aren't supposed to do that or feel that. No, you are a magnificent, majestic being. All of us are. We are stars wrapped in skin. That was Rumi, I think. Rumi. Not me, Rumi. But right on, right? So I'll tell you a fun story to come to a close with this. The story of the power of having a vision that we set our course by, that it becomes our North Star. And it goes way back to me being 20 years old. It's about 1989. Okay, yeah, do the math if you want. And I was dating this guy. He was 19. And we dated for several months. We both loved theater. And he had one of those visions from, I don't know how long he had it, but when he said it, I knew it. I knew from my bones, I had the good bumps when he said it, that it was going to happen. And he said, I'm going to be a famous actor. Now, I'm not saying that, famous is the thing, but it's interesting about the power of this vision. We were in a small little town in Central California, not a lot going on there. I couldn't wait to get out. He had this vision, and I could feel it, like tingling. And we did 3 shows together, and then we went our separate ways. Didn't hear from him for a long time, and not in touch with him even now. But what's interesting is you might know him. His name is Jeremy Renner, part of the Marvel franchise, an Avenger. He plays Hawkeye. The power of a vision guiding you. Catherine told me this story about the elephants that during festivals in India, they are given, their trunk, because there are these crooked roads and there's fruit and storefronts along the sides. And, an elephant's trunk is swinging and knocking into things. And these people, this is their livelihood, right? We can't have that happening, but we want to celebrate. And so the tender of the elephants would give the elephant a bamboo shoot, a bamboo shaft. And the elephant would naturally wrap its trunk around it. And it would walk through that town, the crooked road, thin road, straight, holding this, and get through without knocking anything over. This is what your vision is. This is your North Star, so we don't get distracted by the melons. Right? The shiny things. We go like this. That's the vision. Cliff had a great talk 2 weeks ago on successful living, intention, affirmation, be open and curious, courageous next steps, right? Visioning, put that right before intention so that your intention comes from the vision. You see that? That's where it goes in the whole process. This is what's possible for you. Whether you are sitting here and you're like, I just want to get out of the pain I'm in, visioning will help you do that. Or you're manifesting, you want a job, it will help you with that. And if you're ready to surrender to your soul, so your soul is driving your car and not your ego, visioning is so powerful. It can set you free. And I'll leave you with a quote from Carl Jung. Your vision will only become clear to you when you go inside your heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens. Thank you so much for your attention and time. I love you.